So, Star Citizen isn't working today, and yeah. So let's watch ISC. This one from, again, just reports on Discord, did not seem to be very exciting. They did an origin story, which is very much used as filler when they have nothing to show or want to show something later or whatever amazing decisions that they make for their content. We have one of those. And then it was an all-vehicle sprint report, apparently. So, yeah, not much on the gameplay side. And I'll say this, it does not instill confidence at all in the roadmap or anything. We saw a number of things get committed for 3.17. Very few of those have I seen in the ISC, aside from mining gadgets, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the big one I'd like to see is selling. It's like time's kind of ticking. I would say it's the end of February. It's Evo time. Pretty fucking soon. So, given that, what's going on with selling? I'd like to see that in an ISC, so I hope it's coming soon.
Hi all, me again. Now, last year, we started a very irregular series of segments exploring the daily life of people who don't often get showcased in our behind-the-scenes material. And we'd like to bring that back again this week with an origin story for someone that joined CIG last year directly from the Star Citizen community and made a big change to the quality of our trailers and weekly episodes of this very show.
All right.
Now, we'll have a sprint report for you in the second half, but please give a warm welcome to one of the folks at the very heart of making ISC possible each and every week. This sounds like me. Last time, I thought it was me and it was Justin.
It won't be you.
One of my favorite parts of being a gameplay capture artist is being able to inject a little bit of fun into the B-roll, like Raftron. Or a cave full of picos, which still nobody's found. My personal favorite has to be riding on the missile, like Dr. Strangelove. It's actually my desktop background at the moment. Before coming to CIG, I worked as a freelance cinematographer. I started freelancing when I was still at university. I actually didn't tell anybody I was a student. By the time graduation came around, I couldn't go to my own graduation because I'd been booked at another university to film theirs.
That's pretty funny.
After uni, I just went full-time freelance and started working on all sorts of projects, from short films to feature films, documentaries, but my favorite thing to work on was always music videos. Really just passionate about visually telling stories. When I got the opportunity to come here and work at Cloud Imperium Games, I nearly bit the hand off. I was so excited because I was actually a backer. I first pledged in 2016, and one of the things that I always loved about Star Citizen was everything is so beautifully lit.
He wasn't a backer as early as I would like them to be, but he was right at the time of the biggest delay that CIG ever had. And I think that's important. I think it's important for a backer to have experienced, for a backer who works there to have experienced a lot of the things. Stop pausing. This video's been out for like 12 hours. Watch it yourself. Like, what?
I think being a backer before coming to do this job really helps.
Yeah,
I've already got years worth of just memories of going, okay, there was a place I found that one time that was pretty cool. I think I know how I can get back there. Knowing all the different ships, their interiors, all of that was like a massive help when I started working here, and it helped influence a lot of what's going on.
Nice.
One of the most rewarding parts of the job is working.
This is the guy who does the trailers. Okay.
Working with the incredible marketing cinematics team. My boss, Jesse, is amazing. he's got such an incredible resume working on most of the things that I grew up loving. We'll sit down for an hour and just go through some of the shots, and just getting his feedback is so incredible. Working with Justin and the editorial team over in LA is fantastic. Justin is so full of positive energy at all times.
Man, RTV with Justin
grumpy Brit,
was a special time.
At first, I think there was a little bit of a clash where I was like, I don't understand how a person can be this full of positive energy. But he's really rubbed a lot of that off onto me now. So every time you have a call with Justin, it's amazing. It's like you leave it feeling way more energized. As a gameplay capture artist, one of my main roles is filming the B-roll for ISC.
Gameplay
but I also
capture
work
artist.
on the patch trailers, getting to show off
Yes,
features
okay.
of an
This dude is a godsend. This dude is a godsend. This trailer in particular was when everything started changing. If you go and look back at like, and he may have done the 314, 313, I don't know. He said he was there for a year. But the if you look back before the 3.15 trailer, it was largely like super fake, like not at all representative of what the player may experience, right? This trailer was entirely made in game. Look, you could see the marker above his head. You could see the HUD. This is in game. Where in the previous trailers, they may have been like made in engine. They may have been made in game, but they were so fake. They were so fake that it was almost just lying to the player base of what they would be experiencing. This one in particular just showed in-game footage of the inventory, how bad it looks, the third-person aspects, this HUD, which is kind of, it's a little jank. It's not that good. You know, the restricted area thing left on your screen that's super annoying. Like, all of the things that you may see in the game are there. And that's, as bad of a thing as that may be for the making the game look as good as possible, it is more representative to the player of how their experience may be.
upcoming patch, as well as working on other gameplay trailers, such as the Alien Week trailer or the Hoverquad trailer.
I don't even remember those. But
When
yeah,
features
it's all being
reach
done in game.
a particular level of stability, we put them into the live environment, which is where you guys play every day. Before that, we have the PTU. The instability there is generally not great, but it's being worked on.
Jesus.
Before that, we have Evocati. Evocati is usually very unstable. Before that is where I spend all my day.
No.
The biggest challenge of this job is trying to work around a lot of these issues. There isn't
Worse
always an
than
opportunity to get a bug fixed in order to capture with it. So we have to figure out a way to capture it that still shows it, but avoids all of these issues.
Wow.
And then it'll be my job to go into the game and try and capture that and show that off. Trying to make it look as cinematic as I can, but also trying to really make it look honest to the way that it's going to be when the players get hold of it.
Honest. Holy shit. Honesty. Honesty goes so far. And being honest about where your game is and what it is. Not just saying that it's an alpha. That is honest. But representing what you would experience in the game. How basic something may actually be, right? Like, again, the inventory thing. Like, honesty in these trailers, there is no doubt that they have been way more honest than they have been in the past. And I think being a backer may have something to do with that. Because when you're a backer, not only do you see, like, the beautiful art of the game, the lighting, the ships, the cool things of the game, and you can appreciate those, or you can understand them better than most and are able to build them up from this perspective. But you also have seen the crappy things that people have done, or the misleading things that CIG may have done in the past, or the malicious things that CIG may have done in the past, and you could be like, yeah, I didn't like those things. I'm not doing that. I'm going to do it the way I think it should be. And I come from a perspective of seeing this stuff, and I almost think that maybe that's what happened here is, you've been a backer since 2016. You've seen some shit, and maybe you want to make a change to that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I've talked about this with the roadmap update and why I think the actions of the roadmap update are very representative of people trying to make a change within the company and not accepting the mediocrity and the maliciousness and the horrible things that the roadmap has been, and trying to make that change. And obviously, again, the wording of that update was horrible, but I think the actions are just.
Coming to work here and actually being a part of the experience of seeing behind the door and seeing the incredible work that goes on here is fantastic. Honestly, the best thing about working here is just being able to play with all the new features.
Oh, that's not the Scorpius. That's the Corsair.
Before anyone else. I've said to quite a few people now that it wasn't that I wanted to work in the games industry. I wanted to work here.
Spoiler alert, it's never going to be me, because people see and hear me more than enough as it is.
True.
Like in this upcoming all-vehicle sprint report that I'm going to start right now. Right now. Right. As this latest free fly comes to a close, let's start our special all-vehicle sprint report with this look at fan favorite, the Corsair from Drake Interplanetary, currently taking its first steps into gray box phase. It's here that the internal layout developed in white box will be further explored and developed, making certain everyone involved is happy with just how everything fits inside. As we push inside, we can see the hangar bay here at the rear of the ship.
Okay. Was that an exit over here? Is that a door? It's lit. It must be.
From there, we work our way through the main component room and into the habitation area. And beyond that, the center point that serves...
This is like if the Cutlass and the Caterpillar had a baby.
...serves as general access throughout the ship. Up here in the cockpit, current thinking is that this will be pushed farther along in process earlier, so it can serve as a sort of general
ship
style
is this? This is Drake's answer to the Constellation
guide for artists working on the rest of the ship. But farther along in the pipeline, let's take another look at the continuing progress of the Drake Vulture as it pushes through final...
Have you noticed it's white now and not yellow? Like, I keep seeing it get white lighter and lighter and lighter. It was like a yellowish white last time, and now it's white this time.
Art phase, with work now beginning on LODs, as well as these early tests on the wear and tear shader you can see here.
I mean, I don't care what color it is, but...
And once VFX and lighting passes begin, it's easy to see that the Vulture will no doubt make a fine-looking addition to the Drake collection of spacecraft.
I just want to see it in action.
Merchantman explorations.
I want to see what salvage looks like working. I want to see what hull stripping looks like.
To continue with these white box explorations of more internal areas within, including the medical center,
okay, like I've been kind of bored of the white box stuff because it just is so basic, but now you're starting to see them add the character, right? There was like some glass in one of the things, and now you're seeing what the medical center, this stuff here on the side. You're starting to see character
security
be built in,
room,
which is interesting.
And WC Suite. And I'm going to tell you, the internal discussion about potentially including even multi-species facilities that are specific to the Banu and even the Xi'an here has been pretty intense. I'm pooped just thinking about it.
Why? Why even mention that when you know there's not going to be Banu or Xi'an walking around? We've never even seen the character models of them, like, ever, I don't think. Why even mention that?
As work continues on the interior of the Banu Merchantman, other staff continue
Why even
pushing on
bother
the
with that?
exterior with this quick look at the absolutely ginormous landing gear and rigging tests that are currently underway. Now, landing gear and the related compression animations are essential in effectively conveying the true heft and feel
it is
involved when the ship
huge.
successfully touches down. It's the little things. The really enormous little things. Work also continues on the Scorpius from RSI as artists take one wing to final art
The most
ahead of
overpowered
duplicating
ship
and reversing it for the other
Ever,
three.
probably. This ship is going to break everything.
There's also recent work on the entry and egress points, and even additional tints.
Oh, damn. It's small. When those wings are that way, it's small. That's cool. I wonder what it'll fit in. Look at this thing, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a weapon on each wing. 8 forward-facing guns. It's gonna be so
And
stupid.
finally, before we let you go this week, let's go deep inside the Hull C and take a nice long look at its current interior.
Hell yeah.
Folks who have followed along with the development history of the Hull C will already know that it
Looks
began
very
its
missed.
journey through the ship pipeline quite some time ago, before it was eventually moved to the backlog until much needed technologies could be built. When it came time to pull it out of mothballs and start up again, many aspects of the shipbuilding pipeline had continued to evolve, along with the visual expectations of everyone involved.
Okay.
So while work on the upcoming cargo refactor continues, members of the EU vehicle content team have been gently bringing the Hull C up to modern Star Citizen standards.
And it looks it.
This includes work on new tractor beam and remote camera UI being developed with, I'm sure you've probably guessed it, the ever popular building blocks tech, which will allow players
Tractor beam, camera UI.
to successfully operate this unique addition to the persistent universe. And while its smaller sibling, the diminutive Hull A, is scheduled to arrive before it in the upcoming Alpha 317, we'll continue to check in on this economy-altering vehicle as it continues its long journey from concept to completion.
Economy-altering vehicle. What economy, dude? Now, here's the thing, is if the cargo refactor starts to create an economy, sure, but what economy-altering vehicle? What, Jumptown? Like, Jumptown has been... Everything is economy-altering, because they're... It just... Okay, I can't.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Will Price, like so many others, came from the community, and that his work is an essential part of making ISC each and every week. That some of the biggest and most anticipated vehicles are currently making their way through the ship pipeline, and that the internal battle for the merchantman's toilets has only just begun. Now, don't forget that the free fly that's currently underway ends real soon. Check the robertsspaceindustries.com website for all the details. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you back here next week.
Yeah. Guys, they weren't talking about the Hull A for the economy. They're talking about the Hull C, which is, I think, bigger than any ship that we have as far as cargo capacity goes now. And then think about the Hull D, and then the Hull E is just, like, what? Like, I don't even think you could pull anything out of a location the size of a Hull E. So it's it should be pretty wild. But yeah, and again, yeah, they're not talking about the present day economy. They're talking about the future one. But that's the issue here is they would need to make the future one then, because if the Hull C has more cargo space than a C2, let's say, there's a lot of issues with the current cargo system and the current economy. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is the Scorpius is going to be a weird one. I think we're going to have Ion vibes from that. I think we can see it already, where they're going to put it in. It's going to be incredible. People are going to buy it. They're going to nerf it, and people are going to get pissed. So I would kind of keep my eye on that stuff before spending any money on the Scorpius. Just try it out. You know, maybe one of your friends buys it, you try it out, give it a try, and then see what happens throughout that patch cycle before actually purchasing. I don't know. But yeah, that one's a nerve-wracking one with CIG's past history. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate that one. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll watch some more videos here today.